Next question up says, I already sent you a video regarding my squat. You mentioned, for example, that the one issue is my hips shoot up a bit faster than my chest, and therefore I good morning the weight up a little bit, especially when I get fatigued or when the weight gets heavy. My question is, should I choose my working weights based on a technical estimated 1RM, or should I just try as hard as I can to bring the hips under the bar as soon and as good as possible? So the rule that I use for this is called the 80% technique heuristic. What I mean by that is if your technique is like 80% perfect or better, then your focus is on strength. Add more weight to the bar when it's available. Yeah, you try for that, get that last 20% and achieve technical perfection. You try, and you'll get there hopefully eventually. But the focus, the main driver is on your strength. If you're below that 80% line, then yes, you need to reduce the weight on the bar and focus on what can you do with perfect technique? What can you do with quality technique that's above the threshold? So the first step is to figure out where you fall on this. So 80% perfect technique, like how do you put a number on technical perfection? Well, how I designate that is that if you've got one or two minor errors in your technique, then that's above the line. If you've got a whole bunch of minor errors, or you've got a single major error, then that's below the line. Okay? So a major error would be anything that's going to immediately compromise your safety or get you disqualified in competition. So for the squat, since we're talking about squats, if you're cutting your depth too high, that's a major error. If you're rounding your back, that's a major error. If your knees are collapsing just a little bit, that's probably a minor error. Now, in your case in particular, with the hips rising up and you do a slight good morning with the weight, especially when it gets heavy, that's a minor error. Okay, that is a technical error. It's something that you need to work on, but it also is just an indication of a particular weakness. It was not accompanied by any back rounding. So since it wasn't accompanied by any back rounding, I wouldn't call it a major error. There wasn't any sort of compromise to your safety there. It's just a movement pattern that indicates a particular weakness balance. So since that's above the line, I would recommend that you keep moving forward and that you go ahead and focus on building your strength, and you don't need to limit based on technical failure just yet.